the stateroom starts, to me, looking a little like IKEA. Okay, today we're going to do a quick walkthrough of room 9226A here on Brilliant Lady Virgin Voyages. Let me go inside and we'll get started. I'm going to hand the camera to Ricky and she's going to follow me around while I talk about all of the various parts of this stateroom. Okay, this is right where you walk into the front door of the stateroom. You'll notice this curtain here, and by the way, we've lived in this stateroom now for about 4 days. This is our 4th day on the ship, so I wanted to show it in its natural state with all of our stuff, where everything goes, how we live in this room. Now, if you want to see the stateroom as you would see it when you first walk on board the ship, I have a video like that for Scarlet Lady, for our Sea Terrace. Virtually, it's the same exact room. They really haven't changed anything. The only difference that I can tell, maybe there's some other subtle differences, is this curtain is different. It's a different design on the curtain. This one is opaque, where the curtain on Scarlet Lady was, I don't know, very sheer. You could see right through it. This is basically your closet on board Brilliant Lady in a sea terrace. This is a Central Sea Terrace, which is a little more oriented toward the center of the ship. Like I said, it's virtually identical to the one we had on Scarlet Lady a few years ago. However, it feels smaller. I'm not sure if it is. I can't quantify that because I didn't take measurements on Scarlet Lady. But there are elements of this room that do feel a little bit smaller, a little more cramped. Okay, let me show you the closet. We open up this curtain and you can see our clothes here. We have a shelf up on top here, which I have my backpack up here. We've got a couple of umbrellas. We've got just some packing materials, but you have this available for storage. We have plenty of hanging space. We're on board the ship for 9 days. There's plenty of room for 9 days worth of clothes. They did bring us, well, they didn't bring them. They had some extra hangers in here. They're just, looks like something somebody left behind. So they had a bunch of extra hangers that looks like what other guests previously had left. These are what the hangers look like that come on the ship. They're kind of a metal hanger, but they are a full-size hanger. Pretty small closet. There is some space over here where you can put luggage or other items if you had longer formal type clothing, which this ship doesn't really lend itself to formal wear. But if you do bring something longer, you could use it there. There are these baskets which actually go down into these little cubbies here. Ricky's got some cashmere sweaters in this one. And then this one here, she's got some t-shirts in. And then you have a platform here that I could lay my backpack there or whatever you want to put there. And then over here we've got like a closet door with a little leather pull tab. And this is where the stateroom starts, to me, looking a little like IKEA. I mean, to me, the furnishings look pretty scant. But we've got a shelf up on top. This is where they put the life vests. If you need, you could put these under your bed, and that would give you this whole shelf to use. There's another full shelf here. A pretty large safe, electronic safe. Another full shelf down here, and then 4 drawers that are soft close. They're all the same size. I'd say they're about 3 inches deep. They're not very deep, but you do have those 4, and then you have another large shelf down at the very bottom where you can put shoes or whatever you want down there. There's also a full-length mirror on the back of this door. And the door, to their credit, is soft close, so it doesn't make any sound. Opposite from the closet is the bathroom. but we're going to talk about that later. You'll notice we have some hooks here that we bring with us. These are magnetic hooks that just snap on, because all of your walls pretty much are metal. So magnetic hooks work good if you need to hang, like Ricky's got a backpack, a jacket. I'll put my cap up over on those hooks over there. I keep my sunglasses, just a way to hang stuff. I like to have a lot of hooks in a room. Also on this wall is the thermostat, and it's pretty easy to understand. You just basically tap it down for cooler, up for warmer. It doesn't give you any readout as far as how many degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. This is a very basic, simple, but it seems to work pretty well. Okay, we come on into the room, and you'll notice over here on the kind of the back side of this closet, they do also have a couple of their own hooks up here. I have my jacket on one and a little piece of camera gear hanging on the other one. Down below, next to the closet, is a trash can, which has 2 compartments. I have no idea what the 2 compartments are. I'm sure one of them is for recycling. We have this is kind of a desk vanity unit here. Pretty small. Over here we've got some water. They do replace the water every day. I'm keeping my medications here, and they have this little octopus. I don't know what that does. I guess that's inky. I guess it's just decoration. I think this is like a bottle opener. These are not complimentary. I mean, you can buy these, but you can't take them home with you. You have to pay for them. A couple of glasses. And then we have the phone for the house phone, in case you need to call guest services. There is an ice bucket, and they have been very good about keeping this filled with ice. Down below is the mini bar or mini fridge behind this door. And you can see we've got a bottle of wine in there that we brought on board. You're allowed to bring 2 bottles of wine with you on board. That's all we have in there right now. There's a couple of little shelves here, which I keep camera gear, electronics, stuff like that in there, because there are no drawers on this desk. This is the desk, as well as, I guess, the vanity. And it has kind of a curved shape. It's very stylish, but it's kind of a form over function thing, with me anyway. There's this little pad, kind of like a little iPad that you use to control the television. You can open and close your curtains, and you can do a few other things with it. There are USB ports. One of the USB ports is taken up with this pad charger. I've got my Apple MacBook charging brick in one of the US style outlets. There is another US style outlet here and a European 220 outlet over here. So we always travel with an adapter, which we can use to plug in if we need to here, and that gives us some more outlets. Got my MacBook here. Now over here is a rubber pad. I don't remember this from the last ship. They provide this in case you're using like a curling iron or a hot iron, flat press iron to put on so you don't melt the desk, because I guess they've had some burns on these desks. And that's what that's for. Remote control for the television. This is a mirror here. There is a backlight to the mirror, but it's very dim. There's a little bit of artwork over here on the wall. Underneath, you've got a stool that you can pull out to sit on when you're either putting on your makeup or drying your hair or working on your computer, whatever. Over here, you've got the television. I will measure this and put it on the screen. I think it's a 43-inch, but I'm not positive. I think it's a 43-inch. Flat screen, high definition. And they do have quite a bit of programming. I think they've upped their programming since the last time we were on. They might have some more movies, television channels, all your news channels. Over here on this wall, you've got some switches that can control the lights on the balcony, as well as the curtains. And when I press this, you'll notice the curtains will, well, they're supposed to close. There we go. They don't close 100%. We always travel with a clothespin that we can pin them together so that we get a little more darkness. I'll open this other sheer curtain up later when we go out to the balcony. Let's talk about the bed and the surrounding area for the bed. They have this very odd piece here. I think originally they have this set up so that this could be a bed during the evening, or it could be converted to a sofa during the day. And that's what this was supposed to be, like an arm for the sofa. But this is what you get now with the bed. On one side of the bed will be this padded arm, I guess you call it. And it has a sliding tray. Now, Ricky has her phone charger, some other chargers, her headphones, her iPad. And down below, there are a USB-C, a USB-A, and a US-style plug. There's also light switches where you can turn on or off the various lights in the stateroom. We have 3 of these lights over the headboard, which just have a simple switch, kind of look old school. There's an LED light behind this valance up here at the top. There are no cabinets up here. You can't open these and store things, but there is a light behind there. Now the bed itself can be set up as 2 twins or a king or queen, whatever they call it, but it's 2 twin beds. We have ours separated into 2 parts because when we got on board, Ricky found the bed to be very firm and too hard for her to sleep on. I'm fine with it because I like a firm mattress. So we had them split the bed so that we have 2 twin beds made up separately, and they brought a topper for her side of the bed so that it's softer. We also both found that the pillows that come on the bed were way too firm, too hard, and our stateroom attendant did a great job. She brought us 2 very soft pillows, maybe too soft, but they're better. We can get by. We were told the second day is when we asked for the topper, and our stateroom attendant told us they were already out of toppers. Everybody had asked for all of them. That's an indication that Virgin may want to consider changing their mattresses, because if that many people are asking for a bed topper, obviously a lot of people are complaining about these beds being too firm. Okay, let's go over to the other side of the bed and I'll show you what's over there. And this is my side of the bed. Pretty much the same. This is a kind of a padded fabric headboard. Down below, this large platform. I don't know if I'd call it a table. It's just a large platform, kind of formica covered. And it has this wooden tray. I have no idea what purpose this serves, other than maybe for decoration. I've got my noise-canceling headphones, which fortunately I haven't had to use on this cruise. I will say, to their credit, this is one of the quietest staterooms we've ever stayed in. And we noticed that on Scarlet Lady as well. Other than the occasional slamming of a balcony door, which will rattle the walls, other than that, we haven't really heard anybody talking in the other rooms or any TVs or anything like that. So they've done a good job with insulation. Okay, so you can use this, I guess, for whatever you want. There is a large drawer here. I think I got a pair of jeans in there. I got my pajamas in there. They've got a big I don't know if it's cashmere, but a big blanket they gave us to use in Alaska to sit out on the balcony, I guess, but we haven't used it, so we just store it in here. Over here, there is, I don't know what it is. I guess it's kind of like an end table. It's very light. It's wooden. It's nice. It can fit over the bed if you don't have your luggage under the bed like that. Maybe if you want to have breakfast in bed or coffee, I don't know. We just moved it out of the way and put it over here next to this chair. You'll also notice back here we've got some more USB-C, USB-A, and US-style 110 outlets. You'll need a long cable. You need to bring a long USB cable. I've got one that has 3 tips on it, 3 connectors, so I can plug 3 things into one cable. I don't know why they didn't put that over here. I don't know what the purpose was of putting the USB and the outlets over there, but they did. And they did on Scarlet Lady as well. You've got this chair, which is very large, pretty comfortable. And it's got another full-length mirror. So there's actually 2 full-length mirrors in this room. I suspect this one is just to kind of make the room look a little larger. Now, one interesting thing I want to point out about these staterooms, and we noticed this on Scarlet Lady, these staterooms do not appear to be square. If we look at this bed, you'll notice there's a lot more distance between the end of this bed, Ricky's bed, which is closest to the balcony, and this bed, which is my bed. And that's because the room appears to be, the walls are at an angle. They're not perfectly square. In fact, I measured the distance from that wall to that wall. And then I also measured the distance from these walls up here, and I took into account the bathroom. And it is definitely narrower. I'm not sure how they did this or why they did this. And that may be why the room does seem a little bit smaller. Now, there's no getting around it. There's no nice way to say it. Bathroom is small. One of the smallest that we've ever had on a cruise ship. In fact, it's almost hard to videotape. It's so small. It is, I would say, about, without the shower, if you take the shower away, this area in here is about the same size as an airline bathroom. Now, the shower is a decent size. It's okay. It's good. It's got a rain shower head. There is a shower wand. There is a small shelf where I have a bar of soap. Ricky's got some conditioner or something up there. I have my razor back there. They do give you body wash, conditioner, and shampoo. And the products, I think, are good quality. There's a grab rail here. And you'll notice the odd shape of the floor. Again, there's these odd angles. The back wall of this shower is angled like this. The vanity, it's got the vessel style sink, and the vanity is so small there's no shelves anywhere in the bathroom other than this little stainless steel looking thing down here that you can put some things in. All you have is this countertop to put your products on. There is a small shelf here. I take it back, there is a shelf. And that's it. There is room on this wall. They could have put 2 or 3 shelves up here if they'd have to make the mirror different probably with that light. But I've got stuff stuck back here. Stuff over here. There's a couple of washcloths. They do give you a box of Kleenex, a couple of glasses for your toothbrushes. And then there is a large shelf underneath, which Ricky uses these little foldable boxes for some of her cosmetics, so she can just pull these out and put them up here when she needs them. And that's basically the extent of the bathroom. They do not provide body lotion. We had to bring our own. We bought at a Walgreens in Seattle. So if you need body lotion, you'll need to bring your own. The toilet does not have a soft close lid. Also, your stateroom, there's a couple of towels. There are 2 bath towels up here, 2 washcloths and 2 hand towels. And I should mention that there's only 1 stateroom service per day. So if you use your towels in the morning, you won't get fresh towels until the next day. There are 2 hooks on the back of the bathroom door. They do not provide robes and slippers in this category stateroom. Okay, balcony door opens pretty easily. Go outside. It's a beautiful day here in Alaska. We're pulling into Icy Point Strait. Or is it Icy Strait Point? Icy Strait Point. You can actually maybe see the gondola going up and down the mountain over there. Balcony is a pretty good size. About like what we remember from Scarlet Lady. You have these 2 aluminum chairs and a small aluminum table. Very small. You're not going to be having breakfast out here. And of course the iconic hammock that all of the Virgin ships have. Not crazy about these chairs because there's no cushions. So they're a little hard and uncomfortable to sit in. If you're in the Caribbean in the summer, they get very hot in the sun. But other than that, they do a good job of keeping this glass clean. Our view is, I would say, semi-obstructed. We've got some lifeboats right over the edge, but it's not a big deal. In fact, it looks like most of the staterooms, other than down toward the aft, there's a section that have, well, sort of obstructed by the deck down there, but not bad. We're on the 9th deck. I think I could recommend this stateroom location. It's certainly good. Now, when you close the door, there is a little notice here that if you don't have this door closed and latched and locked, your air conditioner will not come on. So you have to make sure it's not only closed, but it's locked. And you can close this door quietly, as you can see here. That's pretty quiet. But for some reason, our neighbors, when they close their door, they feel it's necessary to do this. And it shakes the wall. One thing I did not notice until we actually got moving, Ricky noticed it this morning because we were on our way to Hubbard Glacier, and there is a real blast of cold air coming in right here on this seam between the on the sliding glass door. I mean, it is really cold. It's only about 50 degrees outside. I can imagine if it was 35 degrees what it'd be like. That may be why we've had a hard time getting this stateroom warm, because when we're sailing, we're getting, I mean, it's all up and down this door. It's not sealed very well, not insulated properly, and just something to be aware of. The other thing I want to mention is, and it's a nice feature on this ship, is how quietly the stateroom doors close. On a lot of ships, there's no way to close a stateroom door quietly. But on Virgin, it's very quiet. Even if somebody leaves the room and just lets the door close, it's not terrible. But good etiquette when you leave a room is to hold it and just let it close like that so you don't make any noise. Now, one thing I did fail to mention, there are a couple of lights. There's a make up the room, and the very confusing symbols here. This is do not disturb, the red. This one is make up the room. So when you leave the room in the morning, you want your room made up, you select that. And I'm assuming all of the room services are done in the morning. And the only criticism I have with this is they put it behind the clothes. So when your clothes are hanging up, you have to kind of move everything to get to the switch. I think it would have been nicer if they'd put that switch up here somewhere. But those are nitpicky things. As far as the colors, very neutral. The carpet is kind of a brownish, beigeish color. Very neutral. Other than the splashes of red that you'll see on the bed and some other decorations, like the curtains on the closet. And that is a walkthrough of our Stateroom 9226A Central Sea Terrace on Brilliant Lady. If you like this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let me know in the comments what you think of the video. Have you stayed in a stateroom like this on Virgin Voyages? And give me some of your thoughts.